So what do we have here?
And that's the vegetarian dish for the cameraman. And like you can see some red lentils, the green one, green lentils, the pocket one, kale, cabbage. Always our cabbage comes with potato, carrots all together, cooked, chickpeas, and there's another dish very important, as much as important, literally similar to our national dish, but we eat it throughout our fasting or throughout when we become vegan. We call it Doro Wat, this one right here, and it's actually popular as this one. But whenever we fasting, that's more popular. That's a quick way of making it, and a lot of people eat it. Ethiopian, yeah. And the middle one is salad.
Now, on the average,
so enjoy.
On the average, how long does it take to prepare this? How many hours? I guess
the Doro Wat, it takes a couple of hours,
okay.
Because the onion needs to be really, really cooked, and then of course we have to put the berbere, which is similar to cayenne pepper, but cayenne pepper doesn't really have a lot of spices to it.
Right.
We do add a lot of spices to make it very tasty.
Yeah.
Not burning. Cayenne is really burning if you eat it by itself, but the berbere, if you eat it, it's not as spicy as cayenne, even though we use the same product, like the same thing, the same leaf, but we put so much spice to it. That kind of makes it a little bit mellow. And then that powder goes in the onion, cooks for hours.
Wow.
And we put butter, and then of course the chicken has to divide in 12 pieces.
Wow.
The chicken, we don't do half chicken, full chicken, or any kind. It has to be, the leg has to come out, the thigh has to come out, each part has to come out in 12 pieces, the neck, the arms, everything by piece, and then we cook it together and we make a stew out of it.
So on the average, you probably spend like an hour, like 2 or 3 hours making this.
I would say more.
Wow.
Yeah, personally.
Well, if people want to order in their offices or for special occasions, you do catering as well?
Yeah, I do catering and I do any events. But we kind of, like if you can see, we kind of modernize the way I serve it. Like there's a way you can eat it at office without making a mess. You know, so I kind of come up with that solution for a lot of people. Like you can see with this one, you can always eat it as an even salad by itself with the kale itself. Yeah.
Now, speaking of like, preparing it and serving it to offices, I remember as I was preparing the Habesha magazine article that you told me for some of our frontline workers, like the doctors and nurses of Sheldon Schumer, you provided some free meals.
Yep.
You had packed it for them, and one of the doctors came and took, to his crew, and then you were able to be there in times of COVID for our community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's right here in the Sheldon Schumer. So I was shut down for 2 months, but then I feel like I needed to do something. But silently, I wanted to do it. I didn't want to say I'm doing this. So I kind of invite all the nurses and doctors, and I offer a free meal, and they were working really hard, hours of hours. So they came and picked up from each department. Like they would come and pick up all the food from here.
That's good.
Take it with them, and about 30 staff, which is between nurses, doctors, and of course clerks, like different. About 30 people. I give them.
Thank you so much.
And also the Eritrean community too.
That is amazing. Exhibiting a true community spirit.
Yeah, and that's
showing love and care in times of need.
One of the things that really is that like we're here for each other.
Yeah.
Not only in times of celebration, but in times of need. It's also a lot of the other restaurants, the other businesses that came together to step up and help. Even folks deliver the food.
That's
some
amazing.
of our customers, some of the customers of the other restaurants, they deliver free food for these people that needed, that needed to smile for a moment
and support.
Basically.
Yeah. That's one of the things that actually, encourages me to see community spirit being exhibited, in every part of the, society, and that is one of the reasons why I love to promote local, to encourage our individuals, community members to support local, because you know, when we are there for each other, we can lift each other up.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
And it's yeah, it's really important for the people to, like, whoever lives in this area, to see like someone is doing something. So it's a way of giving back too.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah.
That is lovely. Now, we're sitting here having a wonderful
Amazing time.
spread. I call it spread of Ethiopian and Eritrean cuisine here at Abyssinia restaurant. Now, after this, what is the next thing? Because I was told there's a lot of things that go into, you know, serving the coffee, the drink. So, what next after this?
After this, a coffee ceremony, because we don't have a dessert. We're not a big Ethio-Eritrean, don't really have a dessert whatsoever. When I say a dessert, we do have a dessert, but our own way.
Okay.
Our own way is coffee ceremony. That comes with a little bit of bread, or called dabo or ambasha.
Okay.
Either way, ambasha, most Eritrean use. Ethiopians, some use ambasha, some use dabo. We call it dabo dufo. It's a bread, and for today we make ambasha only. You guys can experience only the ambasha, and that's and popcorn, of course, always comes with it. With the whole ceremony, it's gonna be our dessert.
So
After
that
this.
alone is another ceremony.
Yes.
Wow, I think I love this culture, because serving the food is a ceremony. The coffee drinking is a ceremony.
Super ceremony.
Everything's about ceremony. Coffee. Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee. Coffee traveled along the spice routes of Yemen, Turkey, and Europe. Whatever the language, the word for coffee points to its birthplace, the ancient region of Ethiopia called Kaffa, an island area with rich soil and cool temperatures that make the perfect conditions to grow coffee Arabica. Ethiopian and Eritreans love the coffee. Now, they don't just grow the coffee, they love taking the coffee. To show you the true first-hand coffee ceremony in Ethiopia or Eritrea, we're honored to have an amazing woman here, the owner of Abyssinia Restaurant, who's going to take us on a journey of how to do this ceremony. You can see we have so many wonderful things here. I don't know what it all means, but she's going to be telling us what it means. Like what is happening now behind us.
So right now I'm roasting the coffee. Normally we use it manually, but this is a way of roasting it equally. So I thought this way would be better for specifically today. But originally we roast with our own hand.
Okay.
So
Now, before going to the ceremony, tell us the significance of this. What is the small?
this
the
is
same?
incense. Whenever we have we use it also at church too.
Okay.
But it's just different way of using it. And whenever we have the coffee, we like to smell good and nice, and that's it. That's all.
Lovely. So I can see we have a flatbread here as well.
Yes. So the bread I made ambasha. There's two kind of bread. There's we call it dabo in Ethiopia,
Okay.
and also ambasha in Ethiopia, Eritrea.
Alright.
So today I specifically made ambasha.
Alright.
But either way, we serve both in the same coffee ceremony
Okay.
or any holidays whenever we have. So every time we make coffee, we always have to have a popcorn and of course the bread.
So walk us through the coffee ceremony.
Okay. So we have 3 stages of serving the coffee. The first one is abo, and the second one is tuna, and the third one is beka.
Becca. Okay. So the first stage.
First stage is gonna be, obviously we grind the coffee.
Right.
We do it, like I said, still we do it manually, traditionally, but we live in the 21st century, so we do have the machine. We can grind our coffee, obviously roast our coffee like
Alright.
you can see. So we do that, and then we just put it in a boil of cold water, and
Alright.
then we boil it for a couple of minutes until we get the right shade. We don't want it too thin, we don't want it too thick too. So perfect condition, we make it and we serve you guys.
Okay. So this is the kettle.
And this is the kettle. It's not a kettle, we call it jabana.
Jabana.
There's 2 kind of jabana. Like I said, Eritrean use, Ethiopian use.
Okay.
But also in Ethiopia, we also use it. It's just a mix of, we call it jabana, also ceramic, made of out of ceramic.
Okay.
And that one is a bigger version of it. And there's another one right here you can see. I brought
Okay.
it. That one. Normally in a household we use this. Eritrean, some Ethiopians use this. I do myself too. I use this sometimes at home.
Okay.
Whenever I'm making the coffee. So, and that's the major and big popular one. A lot of people use.
Okay.
And here you go.
Now, for example, if we're having a ceremony, now this can serve a whole lot of folks, like a party or something.
This one is normally whenever I have a big crowd, we do have this. But whenever I have the mini version people want them to experience, I do have the smaller version.
Okay.
And then we kind of have a smaller pot too, a smaller tiny ceramic pot, and we use that for individual customers. So when they come in, they might not experience every day this part, but they will have the same exactly in the smaller version.
Okay. Now, Alex, there's something interesting. We're in Canada, and we'll go to restaurants, buy chocolate and coffee, and they're serving big, cups and jugs, all of that. But I'm finding this very interesting. Very, detailed with some beautiful, color artworks.
When we are living abroad, we always like to be reminded of back home. And in these small cups called Sini, we see certain kind of Ethiopian and Eritrean artworks on them, from religion, from pure art. So many different kinds of designs are on these sinis.
Yeah.
Therefore, when we are drinking, we're tasting the taste of Ethiopia,
and the
but
culture.
also we're reminded
Of the
through
culture.
the art,
That is
the culture,
amazing.
the religion
I
of
love
our
that.
countries.
So we're not just, it's actually a complete ceremony in the sense that you're not just taking coffee, but each sip, it's a sip of culture, tradition, to remind you of where you're from.
Absolutely, I couldn't have said it any better.
That is amazing.
There, and we'll get a chance to taste the coffee as our friend will pour a few for us.
Okay.
So you can see how very, not too thin, not too thick, but very strong. And the coffee itself is actually from Ethiopia, so it's Yoga
Lovely.
Cafe. So in traditional way, we have to serve our guests
Okay.
first, and then, which is our guest is you. And
Thank
then
you.
we give it to you.
Would you like some sugar in it?
If you
I
like
love some
sugar,
sugar.
yeah, sure. And Alex?
Thank you.
Yes.
So what do we do now? We just drink.
You just drink, and then you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Remember, it is our dessert.
Okay.
So it is after our meal.
Oh.
So it's a way of digesting whatever you ate,
Okay.
and then digesting it and just making you feel relaxed and home. And that's all about it.
Lovely.
It is said to be that during coffee ceremonies, mostly Ethiopian women make the coffee ceremony, and Eritrean women, they talk amongst about how to resolve society issues.
Right.
They also gossip. They talk about their relationship. So it is not just a coffee drinking thing. It is also a way of socializing, a way of coming with a solution as to how to resolve the community's problems and household problems, relationship problems, any other issues. So during the ceremony, the 3 stages, they talk about so many different aspects of their lives.
That is amazing.
And the life.
So we have the coffee.
Yes.
And now the bread. So what do you do with bread?
So the bread, you cut it. You're the guest of the house, so you cut the bread, and then normally you serve it to each guest
Okay.
who's around you. Because of course the COVID, we don't get to do that, but you can cut and taste the bread and also the
So I
popcorn.
cut this way.
Yes, straight. And then, yeah, cut it like that. And then cut a small piece for
Across.
yourself, across if you like. That's enough, yeah.
Okay.
And that's homemade
Oh.
here in Abyssinia.
I love it. Fluffy.
It's good.
So we have the bread. So the popcorn. Now we're doing it because of COVID-19 challenges. Because normally, traditionally, it is passed around and then you pick yours, and eat. But because of COVID-19, you want to be responsible and be careful. Thank you.
Okay, so as part of the 3 stages that Onet talked about, so you continue to enjoy the eating of the bread, scooping naturally with your hand, otherwise because of COVID now with a spoon and a plate, and you continue eating 3 times when the coffee ceremony continues.
Wow.
When we do the abol, tona, and baraka, the 3
So that means
stages.
3 times the coffee, the bread, the popcorn, in 3 times after each other.
Yeah, and even more, as much as you want. You just keep digging, you keep eating, you keep enjoying, you keep discussing and resolving issues,
Wow.
talking about all kind of, problems.
I think I like
how
to
solve
do
problems.
this, I like to bring, issues on the table
Yes.
so I can get to eat more. Because the longer you discuss about issues,
Yes.
the longer you get to eat this.
This is the way, like, our people get together, have a meeting, and discuss and resolve issues. Not in the office or not in, other formal meetings, but especially our mothers, our wives, our sisters, the women. This is how they get together and resolve issues.
Lovely.
Tradition.
Still on My City Speaks to Me, the Calgary edition, still exploring the traditional cuisine of Eritrean and Ethiopians. I've been having an amazing time. I don't know about you, but if you want to have this kind of experience, come to Abyssinia restaurant. I will be sure to have a taste of Eritrean and Ethiopian right here in Calgary. We'll be right back.